All right, so I was here at the Torrance Lameda Republican Assembly meeting, and this gentleman came up to me after the meeting. So go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Will Setka.
I appreciate nice meeting you. What did you want to share with me? I appreciate it.
Well, I just heard you talking earlier at the dinner just about some of the issues with how the right wing is going to approach the whole LGBT thing, and I just wanted to tell you that as someone, I'm technically Gen Z. I think I'm a little on the older end of the spectrum, but as someone, our generation kind of grew up during right around 2012, 2010 maybe, like midway through the Obama administration when everything just kind of flipped and the LGBT agenda was really shoved down our throats aggressively. And so, and that's during the foundation of, the foundational period of our development. So it's something that we don't really see it from the angle of what business is it of me, what you do in your bedroom or stuff like that. It's kind of more of a civilizational issue, a cultural issue, where are we going to be in 20 years with the current position. So I just wanted to tell you that social conservatism is something that is not, it's not a losing issue with the younger generation because we grew up with those circumstances. It's something that we're starving for, honestly. So
really, I mean, what's been your experience with this LGBT agenda growing up, being on the tail end of this whole movement?
Well, it's something where it's presented in a way where it's normalized. Like once you had the gay marriage thing go down, that's fine. There's a reason. We're for limited government. Small government. We don't want to get involved in people's lives. And it kind of it slowly trickled in. Like when I was in high school, for example, right around this was earlier on in my high school experience. So it was probably a couple years after the gay marriage thing got legalized, and it was really nothing anybody ever talked about before that happened. And after that happened, all of a sudden, at school, we started having I forget what the official word was for it, but it was basically where at lunchtime in the school, they would have all the students who identified as whatever part of the LGBT or transgender or whatever, and they would have them meet in the center of the school, and they would give them microphones, and they would talk about how everyone bullies or just stuff like that, and they would pretty much force everyone else to go to the center of the lunch area and listen to this. Of course, half the people were screw this, I'm out of here, and would go home or something like that. So yeah, it's been very. And then aside from that, in the classroom, I'm in college right now, a lot of I'm thinking how to word this. A lot of the culturally Christian things are shunned very, very heavily. The issue, I think, with secularism and things like that is it kind of has become its own religion in a sense, where you're not allowed to counter that in any way. Because I think the idea behind secularism and separation of church and state is, that's a foundational thing for America. But at the same time, it's kind of turned into a thing where now if you're a Christian, you're almost persecuted for having those beliefs. So I mean, there's a lot of things, but the bottom line is just from the top down, culturally through basically every institution, that issue has been really forced on us, and so it's kind of natural for every generation to want to rebel against the generation before them. And so for Gen Z, that's millennials, and millennials are obviously very well known for being left-wing, a lot of the Antifa crowd and stuff like that. That's a millennial thing. So the next generation who grew up during that is going to be very much against that, I think. And I think there's a lot of hope for the future, and I just think Republicans should not be scared about really running on hardcore conservative things and not trying to change the beliefs or change some of the problems so that they think they're appealing to more people or something like that, because people are really they're starving for social conservatism.
Wow, thank you so much, Will. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.